welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about traveling. Let's begin. First, can you guess this country we are going to talk about? That's right, it is Bolivia. So, these are some pictures that represent Rob's trip. Do you think he had a good trip or not? Okay, we're going to listen about his trip. You can also read on page 106. And let's find out if you were right or not. Let's listen.
Page 106. Unit 10. Going Places. Lesson A. Travel Blog. 1. Vocabulary in Context. A. Look at the pictures. What can you guess about Rob's trip? Then read the blog and check your guesses.
Rob's Amazon travel blog, days 21 and 22, Bolivia to Rurrenabaque via La Paz. The first views of La Paz were amazing. Impressive downtown buildings surrounded by vast suburbs climbing up breathtaking mountains. The trip was fascinating but tiring. I slept well that night. The next morning, I asked about travel to Rurrenabaque, gateway to the Amazon basin. The tour agent informed me that the last bus had left. She also said the trip would take an exhausting 18 hours or more by bus. A depressing thought, so I opted to fly despite the cost. I called the airport. They said all the flights that day were full. They told me there were seats on the 6 a.m. flight the next day, which meant getting up at 4 a.m. So I went to the airport the following morning. I was puzzled that only a handful of people were checking in, which was surprising, since Rurrenabaque is a popular destination. I soon discovered why. The check-in agent explained that the plane was just a 16-seater, a frightening prospect. Then she said there might be a delay because of bad weather, which wasn't very encouraging. In the end, the flight was on time, though I have to say it was pretty challenging. The pilot warned us that the landing would be really bumpy, and it was. Actually, it was terrifying. I was just happy to get there safely, and I felt much more relaxed in the evening. It was the start of my Amazon adventure.
Okay, great. Now, let's go ahead and continue. I want you to please pause the video and identify when Rob felt depressed, surprised, terrified, and tired. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So, he felt depressed when he realized that the trip by bus would take about 18 hours or more. He felt surprised because he only saw a handful of people that were checking in. He felt terrified when the pilot warned that the landing would be really bumpy. And he was very tired because the trip was very tiring. Okay, so I want you to please read some of the sentences I took from the reading. What are the words doing? Pause the video while you think about this. If you notice, these words are describing things and people. They are adjectives. Now, I want you to please read these two sentences and find out where the adjective is in each sentence. So if you notice, we have she was frightening in the middle of the night and she was frightened in the middle of the night. The adjectives are frightening and frightened. Now, is the adjective different? And if so, how? If you notice here, the adjective is different, right? One adjective ends with ing and the other one ends with ed. Now, think about this. Is the meaning of the sentence different? Yes, it is, right? She was frightening in the middle of the night. I'm saying that she was scary. Maybe she looked like a zombie. If I say she was frightened in the middle of the night, I'm saying that she felt frightened. She was scared. So in one, I am describing the way that she looked and the way I felt that she was frightening, therefore I was scared, or that she was frightened, something scared her. Today we're talking about participial adjectives. Some adjectives can describe both feelings and what causes a feeling. They are called participial adjectives, and basically, the ending is what changes. There are past participial adjectives, such as frightened, interested, and relaxed. And there are also present participial adjectives, like frightening, interesting, and relaxing. If you notice, the only thing that changes is if I use an ed or an ing. But how do we use them? Well, past participial adjectives describe how someone feels, like she was frightened in the middle of the night. That's the way she felt. Whereas in present participial adjectives describe who or what causes a feeling in a person. She was frightening in the middle of the night. She looked very scary. Now, please notice that past participial adjectives can only describe people or even animals if they can show an emotion, because it is about a feeling. But present participial adjectives can describe things, other animals, or even people, as long as they are causing a feeling. For example, would you say that a book is interested or interesting? Interesting, right? Because a book cannot show emotion. It can cause an emotion. Let's continue. So, here I have 4 sentences. And please choose the correct form of the adjective to complete them. Pause the video. Okay, let's go ahead and check. You look really tired. Why don't you go to bed? Can I call you? I've got some very exciting news for you. My neighbor always plays loud music. It is very annoying. The directions were confusing and we got lost. Did you get this right? Excellent. Now, please pause the video and choose the correct form of the adjective to complete these other sentences. Okay, we're going to check this in class. Now, please go to workbook page 74, exercise A. Here, you're going to, once again, circle the correct adjectives to complete the conversation. Look at the example. Your trip to the Amazon sounds really fascinating. We are using the ing form of the adjective because we are describing a trip, something that causes an emotion or a feeling. Pause the video while you work on this. Okay, we're going to check this together during our lesson. Now, work on part B. Here, you need to complete the blog post with the correct adjective of the verbs in parentheses. Look at the example. My friend and I decided we wanted to go on a challenging adventure this year. An adventure cannot feel, but it can cause a feeling, right? That's why we used challenging. Pause the video while you work on the rest, please. Okay, great. We're going to check in class. I will see you then. Bye-bye.